I'm the best at what I do. You want to test that theory, boy. Now, this is a brand new figure in my collection, but it is very, very old. We're talking about the Marvel Legends Arnim Zola Wave Dark Wolverine. And I could not be any more happier to add this to my collection. Moving along, we're going to definitely take this out of the package and get like a more deep dive into this. So taking this out of the package, it wasn't bad for what it was at the time. I'm pretty sure 11 years ago I would have gone crazy. These figures, you kind of like, if you're like me, you want to leave them in the package. The butterfly joints are massive, and then these claws are like ridiculous. I don't know if these look like naked bananas or like if it's like clay or oatmeal oozing from like his hands, but these do not look like bone claws at all. And then you get into the molding, and the anatomy is not good, you know. And then here we are with the pelvic joint. It's stiff, you know. I mean, if I work it a little bit, I'm not too weary about it snapping, but it is a possible thing with how stiff these joints are. They are really, really stiff. And then you have the 360, the main part of it, to turn it around, and I'm just not a fan of that. What up, YouTube? Pierce here, and welcome back to the channel. And I just want to say that finally I got my hands on the new Dark Wolverine action figure, and it goes leaps and bounds, obviously, around the previous one that came out about 10 plus years ago. But it does have its saving graces, the old figure I'm talking about this time, because you can actually take the old bone claw hands and the head from the older figure, and you can use them as extra accessories for the new Dark Wolverine. And obviously, this can only work if you have the older figure in your collection. I'm not exactly sure if many of you do or not, but I held on to mine. And I had no idea that they were going to make a new one, but I'm glad I saved it and I didn't sell it or anything like that. So we're going to get into all of that in this video. And of course, going by the intro of my video, I had many complaints about this action figure, mainly the pelvic joint articulation, which I don't have a problem with the new one, but I'm glad that these heads are interchangeable between figures, because with this figure here, you can actually take this head off and just simply swap it onto this new one, and now he has 3 heads. Now, the ball joint on the older figure and this ball joint on the new figure, they're practically the same size. The only problem that I ran into was that once I'd taken the old head back off and switched it back to the new head, the newer head actually felt a little bit loose, but it's really not a problem. And surprisingly, if you do have the older figure in your collection, you can actually take the newer Dark Wolverine heads and fit them onto the older body with no problem, no modifications needed. And these new heads actually look pretty good on the older body. I like the proportions very well, minus the details and the sculpting. The sculpting still sucks. But these claws, I'm glad I kept them, even though that the peg size don't match. As you can see, there's a lot of resistance. And I had to heat these up with a hair dryer to get them out. But you don't have to worry about anything snapping or breaking on this. So after heating up at maybe about 11 to 15 seconds, that peg is going to come out of the arm. And as you can see, there's a flat side towards the wrist of the peg, and that has to be filed down. I wouldn't recommend using any Dremels unless you're comfortable using it or any other tools, because you don't want to, file down too much or sand down too much, because you want this peg to be tight without compromising any functionality. So I can just pop this out. And before I decided to file down the peg, I was comparing the hands to the modern hands of the current Dark Wolverine figure, and they're actually not that different in size. So despite the shading difference and the color browns, there's different shading differences in the paint all throughout this figure. So I'm not even worried about the color, but the size of the hands, they fit well with the forearms in the new figure. So knowing that I was going to have some type of resistance putting that peg in because it's not going to fit the new holes in the action figure, that's where the nail filer comes in. Now, while doing this, you don't need a complicated method. All you want to do is just apply some firm pressure while you're filing down the peg just to get that side flat, but you don't want to file it too much. You want to start off with maybe like 4 sides of the peg and then start rounding it and turning it as you file. But the main goal is to make sure that the older peg is filed down to the size of the peg on new hands from the new figure. Once it's done for the first hand, you want to make sure you complete the same process for the second hand, and then now you have a new set of hands, which totals out to 1, 2, 3 heads for the new Dark Wolverine and 3 sets of hands. And here we are with a few screenshots I've taken with the older clawed hands with the new body, and it does not look that bad to me. Like I said, I know that there are numerous paint and color differences throughout the figure, so I'm not going to worry about two-tone gloves at this point. I mean, you can get away with it with some lighting tricks and different angles. And that's the end of this video. Thanks for coming by. Hope you smash that like button and subscribe. And stay tuned for some future stop motions with this figures and others. Peace.